presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Tuesday night in the South, we welcome you from Atlanta, Georgia. And the final year at Turner Field for the Atlanta Braves. They're moving into a brand new stadium next season. It's the Brewers and the Braves. It is game one of this three-game series. Tonight, Jimmy Nelson on the mound. He grew up rooting for the Atlanta Braves. The Brewer starters are going along pretty well over the last couple of weeks. In this series, it'll be Nelson, Junior Guerra, and Willie Peralta to match up against Atlanta. Jonathan Lucroy, another guy who grew up rooting for the Braves from Florida. Jonathan Lucroy against Atlanta. Look at those numbers. A .354 career batting average with 4 home runs. A lot of news and notes around the Braves. Last week, Freddie Gonzalez was removed as the manager. Brian Snitker takes over as the interim manager, longtime organizational guy. They will be making a change come season's end. And hi, everybody. That sets us up for tonight's matchup with the Brewers and the Braves. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Brian Anderson. We'll hear from Sophia Minard in just a moment. Well, the Brewers, if you look at their offensive numbers, it hasn't been a pretty picture. But then you start to look at the opponents the Brewers have faced, and you're talking about the class of the National League on the mound.
Top of the food chain, really. I mean, you can lay a little bit of it on the Brewer hitters, and they will take responsibility for that for sure. But when you look at what they have faced in the last week, the Cubs, #1 in the National League in earned run hours, the New York Mets, #3. Look at the starters. I mean, the starters outstanding for the Mets and the bullpen. But, now you go into Atlanta and you think to yourself, you've got it pretty easy with this rotation that the Atlanta Braves are going to be throwing out there. But the Brewers, before this stretch, we're swinging the bats pretty well. Almost 5 runs a game. Last 6 games against those starting rotations and bullpens. Cubs, Mets, it's been down quite a bit. But, it's not a quick fix here in Atlanta. They got Julio Teheran going, one of the hottest young right-handers in all of baseball. These guys got to get going. This is not a home run hitter's ballpark. The Brewers rely a lot on home runs. So we'll see what the Brewers are going to be able to do against Teheran. The key for this series, get into that Braves bullpen. Those guys have struggled this year.
Well, it is 2 franchises that are in rebuild mode. The Brewers are hanging tough right now. They've got Jimmy Nelson on the mound. He's been the most consistent of the starters. Up next, Sophia Minard. She had a chat with Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, about Big Jim.
Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time.
Coming from New York, the Brewers continue their road trip through the National League East with the next stop here in Atlanta as we get ready to start a 3-game set with the Braves. Jimmy Nelson getting ready for his 10th start of the season, a 4-3 record for him. He'll be going up against Julio Teheran. You see the earned run average for him, 2.73, but just one win to show for it. From Turner Field here in Atlanta, I'm Sophia Minard. Jimmy Nelson getting ready for his 10th start of the season, and he's proving that he can be a leader for this Brewers starting rotation. He has a team-leading 6 quality starts, and he's coming off arguably 2 of his best. Just a 0-1 record for him, but the earned run average, a 1.17. Over 15 1/3 innings, he's allowed just 2 earned runs. So pitching coach Derek Johnson spoke with me about what the keys have been for Nelson's success here early in the season.
Crazy work ethic. I mean, as crazy as I've ever seen on anyone. I mean, the guy puts in the time. He deserves success. And I think he feels like, hey, every time out I should go 8 or 9, which is a great tribute to him and an attribute to have for any kind of pitcher. So, he puts in his work during the week and does his bullpen stuff and then goes out and feels like it should be 8 or 9.
Nelson and the Brewers look to snap the 3-game losing streak coming off of the sweep in New York. They'll get the chance to do that with first pitch coming up from here in Atlanta at Turner Field. It'll be Ryan Braun back in the lineup. The Brewers looking to get the bats going here at Turner Field.
A swing and a miss. Teheran got him with a breaking ball.
And a little half swing. He goes. Nasty breaking ball.
Beautiful pitch there. Froze Goldschmidt.
Did he go? They will ask. Yes, he did. Ring him up.
Strike 3. Froze Ben Zobrist.
And down he goes. Nelson strikes him out. Big fastball from Jimmy Nelson.
Jimmy Nelson, Julio Teheran, our matchup tonight. 2 very good pitchers on rebuilding teams. We should have a good one tonight. It is perfect baseball weather here in Dixie. 81 degrees, a little bit of humidity. And we are delighted to have you with us here tonight. Check the Brewers lineup Craig Counsell turns this one in. Jonathan VR back in the leadoff spot. He's been very good in that spot. Scooter Gennett, then Ryan Braun. Middle of the order is Lucroy, Carter, and Nieuwenhuis. And then Aaron Hill, Ramon Flores, and Jimmy Nelson will round out the starting 9. And take a look at the numbers on Julio Teheran. And Rock, he's going along very well in his last 6 starts.
Yeah, except for the wins and losses. I mean, he picked up a win his last time out against the Pirates, a 3-1 victory, and an 8-game winless streak, either losses or no decisions. But he's been outstanding this year. Has not had a bad start.
Teheran against Jonathan VR, the switch-hitting Brewers shortstop. He just continues to impress. VR, he's the National League leader in stolen bases. He has 14 bags this year, and he's hitting .286. Brewers moved him into the starting spot in the top spot in the lineup last week. Domingo Santana, who was dealing with a shoulder injury, eventually had to go on the disabled list with that shoulder injury. And VR has moved into that leadoff spot and had a lot of success. There's Domingo. Going to be out another week or so, hoping to be back when his clock is up with 2 weeks on the disabled list.
It just wasn't getting any better. I mean, he tried to play on occasion, but just wasn't able to throw the baseball the way he would have liked, especially playing out in right field. So he decided to put him on the disabled list, and hopefully that thing will be 100% when he comes back.
VR gets jammed, a little roller over to Freddie Freeman, and he hits Teheran covering the bag, and that's how the night begins for the Atlanta Braves. How about the Braves defensively, Rock, courtesy of Menards?
Yeah, 33 errors for the Braves, 3rd most in the National League. Smith, Enciarte, and Markakis in the outfield. Beckham, Ibar, Kelly Johnson, and Freddie Freeman on the right side, and Tyler Flowers behind home plate.
Not a whole lot of recognizable names in that Atlanta Braves lineup, but there's one of them, the face of the franchise. Long-term deal. He'll be the star attraction for many years here in Atlanta as they get ready to go over to their new stadium. Scooter Gennett with 1 away. Gennett coming in batting .232. He's scuffled a little bit since coming back from the oblique injury. Haven't seen the power numbers that we saw early in the schedule for Gennett. He missed about 3 weeks with that oblique injury, April and into early May.
Yeah, those 2 weeks certainly cooled him off. He was swinging the bat extremely well before he went on the DL, and he's had a difficult time getting back to form. Batting average down to .232 for Scooter.
Against the Mets, and mind you, very good pitching there with New York. Gennett was just 1 for 9 as the Brewers were swept by the Mets. Gennett in the air, foul territory. That's Gordon Beckham, and there is out number 2. Well, if there's any consolation in getting swept by a team on the road, it's the fact that the Brewers were in every game. There was a lot of close games. They were just missing that one big hit, that one piece. Ryan Braun didn't play in the first 2 games. Who knows if things would have been different had he been in the lineup. But the Brewers, they struggled with runners in scoring position the entire series.
And that's going to happen when you're facing pitching like the Brewers have been facing in the last week or so. And pitching continues to be good for Milwaukee. Starting rotation really starting to come around. The bullpen continues to be strong. But it's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, you feel good that you're in games, but then you don't feel good because, a hit here or there, a better pitch here and there, and you could have won a couple of those.
Now, the Brewers had late leads in the first 2 games of that series with the Mets. Mets have stayed hot. They won yesterday. They beat Washington on the road, so they've now won 4 in a row. Brewers trying to get back to winning ways here tonight. They're 8 games under. But good to have as close to the show lineup as they've had in a while, with Braun and Lucroy and Carter all in the lineup together. Once they get Santana back, the Brewers do feel pretty good about their offense and their run production. Ryan second in the National League in batting coming in, hitting .360. And a wave and a miss. 2 strikes on Braun. It evens at 2-2.
Yeah, basic 4-pitch pitcher is Julio Teheran, and doesn't throw hard. Has a good 2-seam fastball, slider, a very good pitch for him. Curveball, changeup. But locates very well. Hasn't walked many.
2 outs, top of the first. We're just underway from Atlanta. Braun skies one foul in the seats. I was talking to Ryan after the Mets game on Sunday. Brewers took a day off yesterday, but he had nothing but high praise for Noah Syndergaard and the kind of stuff that's coming out of his hand. He goes, that's a fastball and a slider and a curveball that, and a changeup even, that not many have in the big leagues. He is not just a thrower, he's a pitcher. Braun did have a hit in that game against Syndergaard. Out in front of this one, a fly ball to center, and that will retire the side. 14 pitch first inning for Tehran, and now it's Jimmy Nelson's turn. He grew up a huge Braves fan. He'll get his turn on the mound here at Turner Field next. Transplanted Milwaukee natives here. And there is Brian Snitker. Boy, what an opportunity for him. You root for a guy like this. 60-year-old interim manager of the Atlanta Braves. 40 years with the Atlanta organization. 20 of those as a minor league manager. His batting order today looks like this. Inciarte, Beckham, Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis, Tyler Flowers, and Kelly Johnson. Eric Ibar, Julio Tehran, the pitcher, batting 8th. And Malix Smith, the young outfielder, bats 9th. That's a lineup that will face Jimmy Nelson. Ender Inciarte leads off. Nelson's first pitch is in there for a strike, and away we go here in the bottom of the first. Jimmy Nelson pitched here in Atlanta exactly 1 year ago today.
And pitched well. A 2-1 loss right here at Turner Field. Jimmy's numbers have been terrific all season long. A 307 earned run average, a 4-3 record, having a really good month of May. A 2.96 ERA in May in 4 starts, but only 1-1. You see his numbers in that start a year ago.
It's always interesting watching a player, a pitcher, come back home. And Atlanta's not home, but he's from Niceville, Florida. He grew up in what is considered Braves country. And when you come back and you watch so many games, it has an iconic feel for him because he dreamed of becoming a major leaguer and maybe becoming an Atlanta Brave, and now you're in the big leagues and you're pitching against the team, at least the uniform that you grew up following.
And sometimes that can be an overwhelming event, but he certainly handled it pretty well last year. Those numbers very good, although he did suffer a loss.
Nelson has emerged as the staff ace at this point, coming off an 8-inning performance his last time out against the Cubs. He pitched into the 8th inning, better stated. He went 7 1/3, 5 hits, no earned runs in that game. And the Brewers had back-to-back starts pitching into the 8th inning, and Jimmy Nelson has gone 8 innings and 7 1/3 in his last 2 starts. So he's worked in the 8th inning back-to-back now, and it's a good sign for him. And he strikes out Inciarte to start the game.
Well, let's check out the Menards Brewers defense tonight. You got Ryan Braun back out in left field. They need Brony out there as much as he can to bolster that offense. Neuenhuis Flores in the outfield. You got Hill, VR, Jeanette, and Carter from third to first. And once again, Jonathan Lucroy behind home plate. Brewers Menards defense. I thought I'd just put an exclamation point.
Oh, well, Menards appreciates that.
Yeah.
Save big money. Saw Ramon Flores out in right field. And he's been a versatile piece for the Brewers. He has gotten to start at first base on this road trip. Played a little center field. Now he's in right field in the absence of Santana. And a fly ball his way. Gordon Beckham is retired. 2 up, 2 down for Nelson.
Yeah, the sun might be a bit of an issue out there in right field early on. The sun sets over the grandstands along the third base line, and no problem for Ramon Flores. Doesn't even have the glasses out. Beautiful ballpark here
mixed
in
feelings
Atlanta.
coming in here,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
It's hard to grasp what is about to happen here. There is a venue change for a major league team after, in stadium years, feels like a very short amount of time in this ballpark. Think about this ballpark opening up the Olympics, remember, '96, and then it was that year that the Braves started playing here. And those are the remaining home games at this downtown venue. Just 62 left. And home has been a very poor showing for the Atlanta Braves. They have seen the bottom of the 9th inning in every game but 2 here.
Yeah.
So they have only won twice in their home venue. They are 2-17 at Turner Field.
Yeah, something's got to give in this series. The Brewers have not won a road series, and the Braves have not won a home series. So somebody's going to leave happy here.
And it's a 3-game series. And all night games this week. Wednesday, Thursday night. Brewers return home to start a series on Friday. Freddie Freeman is one of the few power threats the Braves have, maybe the only real power threat that they have, and he is the only player who has homered at Turner Field this season. He's hit 4 of them here, has 8 home runs on the year with 15 runs batted in. That gives you a good idea that there aren't many base runners on ahead of Freddie Freeman. Very few RBI opportunities.
Yeah, but the Braves have started to hit a few home runs. They just got off a 10-game road trip and actually beat the Phillies in a 3-game series, 3-2, and they hit 9 home runs in the last 5 games.
Nick Markakis is due next in the cleanup spot. 2-2. Nelson trying to go 1-2-3 to get his night started in Atlanta. And a big breaking ball misses. Full count to Freddie Freeman. Braves, like the Brewers, in a rebuild mode right now. They are very proud of their minor league system after a number of trades. They've got a lot of talent. Most of their top prospects are at the AA level in Mississippi. And so you come to the ballpark today, you get a lot of what you get when you come to Miller Park. There are minor league reports. There's a lot of catching up to do and prep work to do on who's succeeding down at the upper levels of the minor leagues. And they're hoping that a number of those players are going to surface in the next couple of years, and they're going to become a factor once again in the National League East. On the 8th pitch, Freeman sends one skyward out to Flores in right. And that will retire the side. Jimmy Nelson, 1-2-3 answer. And we go to the second. No score in Atlanta.
the New York Mets. The Brewers offense looking to get back to form that they showed prior to facing the Cubs and the Mets. And Craig Counsell said before the game, certainly when you go up against some of the league's best pitching, he said it's a tough task for your lineup. He said we saw 3 starters who were highly regarded from the Mets, and so they were always working ahead. Hitters were facing a lot of 2-strike counts, and so certainly it's a great challenge. But he said what he's been pleased with, they've been opportunistic with free passes, so he said the ball strike recognition has been excellent. And if they can continue with that, he said the runs will be there.
All right, Sophia, thanks. It's such a big topic. It's such an interesting discussion, too, as Lucroy takes a called strike to start the 2nd inning. And, Rock, I would imagine for Craig Counsell, it's a very fine line between offering praise. There are no moral victories in the big leagues. Offering praise versus looking at the reality of the staff that the Brewers have faced in the last 2 series. But this is, for lack of a better word, a bit of a developmental season for a lot of these players. And so Counsell's trying to find the right place to make sure confidence remains high each and every day.
No doubt. I mean, and even in the Mets series, they were able to get men on base except for the first game. They didn't have many opportunities in that first game against Steven Matz. But, you know, other than that, I mean, they were able to get men on base. And one of the reasons why the Mets have such a good pitching staff, and one of the reasons why their earned run average is so low, is because they don't make mistakes with men on base. Brewers had a difficult time with runners in scoring position in that series, and that's what happens when you face good pitching staffs, and that is all part of the learning process, learning how to relax. And when a pitcher, you know, like a Syndergaard makes a mistake, you got to jump on it. He's not going to give you many mistakes.
Julio Teheran worked a 3-up, 3-down first. Lucroy leading off the 2nd inning for the Brewers. Jonathan coming in with a .287 average. 6 home runs, all coming in the month of May. Great numbers at Turner Field in his career. Always hit for a high average here. It's a pretty big outfield, pretty expansive. The alleys are very deep. It is 390 into the right center field alley, and it's 380 into the left center field alley. So typically, at least in the Bobby Cox and into the Freddie Gonzalez era, they play their outfielders deep. And there's a lot of room for Lucroy to go to work in this ballpark.
They've had some good pitching in this ballpark too, haven't they? I mean, think about the pitchers. I mean, they've got one of them to our left, actually 2 of them. Yep. Tom Glavine is here at the ballpark. Don Sutton, one of their broadcasters. So you know, great pitching is all part of the culture with the Atlanta Braves.
Lucroy, a swing and a miss. Tough slider from Teheran. And 1 away. First strikeout for the Braves starter.
Yeah, last 6 starts for Julio Teheran, a 115 earned run average. I mean, incredible stuff for the right-hander, and it's been a very frustrating season for him in that he's got that great earned run average, but he's only got 1 win. That was his last start.
And you just don't know how long he's going to be in a Braves uniform. There are a lot of scouts here tonight scouting both of these teams, the Brewers and the Braves. And as you start getting into the season like we are now, starting to approach the month of June, trade deadline is at the end of July. There are going to be a lot of eyes on these 2 organizations. And let's face it, the Brewers and the Braves are in a position now where probably going to see a number of trades. And going to have some news, you would think, throughout the rest of the summer. If either one of these general managers can acquire some young talent and continue to bolster their minor league system, they will certainly do that.
Yeah, I would imagine that scout we just saw, like that slider we just threw to Carter. Oh my goodness. Yeah, late breaking, and not a very big break, but very sharp, very quick.
Chris Carter had the day off Sunday. And a swing and a miss. Down he goes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Teheran. His first 2 of the game. Carter on about face.
Yep, the fastball has been right on the corners. He made a mistake with that one, and knows what we're talking about. You make a mistake like that, you got to make him pay for it. That was right down the middle, but it came right after a very good slider. Well, throw fastball sliders to right-handers. He'll mix in some change-ups to lefties.
2 up and 2 down. Here's Kirk Neuenhuis. Neuenhuis back in center field. He has laid claim to that center field spot. Neuenhuis had a tough series against the Mets, returning to face his old club. He actually started the series by receiving his National League championship ring. So I'm sure there were some emotions going into that series for Neuenhuis. He was 0 for 10 in that series. Trying to get things turned around here in Atlanta.
But very happy to be a Brewer. He's getting a ton of playing time, and he would not be getting that playing time in New York.
As a fourth outfielder with the Mets last year, has become the everyday center fielder for the Brew Crew this season. And I like what he said. He told the New York writers that he loves the clubhouse culture in Milwaukee. No knock on New York. I think it was more praise for the clubhouse that Craig Counsell and his coaches have established here. Some veteran guys like Neuenhuis and Aaron Hill, Chris Carter. They actually had a kangaroo court session Sunday night as they arrived in Atlanta, which is usually a whole lot of fun. We weren't privy to all that information, but they said there were a lot of laughs, and good to see the ball club coming together again. He goes, but the ball gets by Flowers, and Neuenhuis will reach. So it's the third strikeout of the inning for Tehran. However, the Brewers get a base runner on the wild pitch.
And not sure if it's going to be a wild pitch or a pass ball. Did it hit the ground? Wild pitch. Okay. You can see the fastball grip. Here it is. Slider, actually. And Tyler Flowers not able to get to it. And that's when you got to be able to handle behind home plate. That wasn't that bad a pitch, and it gets by him.
So the Brewers get a base runner, and here is Aaron Hill, and there's a ground ball through, a base hit. Clean single for Aaron Hill, first hit of the game for Milwaukee, and it's first and second with 2 gone.
Yeah, make him pay, make a mistake and make him pay, give up a base hit. First pitch, that's not a bad philosophy against this guy. We were talking around the batting cage today, and that when you're facing good pitching, you can't miss pitches like that. That was a mistake. It was supposed to be on the corner, ended up down the middle, and Aaron Hill able to bang it into right. Your first strike is normally the best one you're going to get against guys like Tehran.
Balanced spray chart for Aaron Hill this year. 2 on, 2 out. Door opened up a little bit after that wild pitch on a swinging strike 3. Here's Ramon Flores. How would you describe in quick layman's terms what kangaroo court is?
Well, you do kind of silly things. I mean, things that happen not so much off the field, but on the field. Maybe you go up there with the wrong helmet, or you do something silly that is deemed by the players to be kind of silly, and then they have a court case. If you want to fight it, it'll end up costing you double. I don't know what the fines were like in the big league kangaroo court. There might be $5, $6,
right,
something like that, but it's a lot of fun. You have judges. I mean, some of the veteran players, there was what Craig was saying, 5 or 6 guys that were judges.
Had a judging council
right
in the kangaroo court. They rented out a little convention area, had food and drinks, and
you can defend yourself, and that kind of gets very exciting.
You
that
can have
gets
somebody defend you if you like.
It's fun. It really is.
It's kind of an old school baseball thing that Council's trying to keep alive. The only fine or the only moment that Council would share with us, and this will be news to Mr. Baseball, who maybe is watching tonight, but Ramon Flores hit his first career home run, and Craig Counsell brought up charges on Bob Uecker for not giving it the full home run call. So Mr. Baseball owes the kangaroo court $10 as Flores strikes out. 4 Ks in the inning for Tehran. there. Good to see the Cheeseheads out. Brewers fans all around the ballpark. We saw a bunch of them here for batting practice today. The Quicken Loans Rocket Arms for tonight shows the strikeout leaders for both teams. Jimmy Nelson leads his club with 47. Julio Teheran is the Braves leader, and he is coming off a 4-strikeout second inning, which will tie a major league record with many major league pitchers. I believe Craig Kimbrell was the last to do it for the Atlanta Braves a couple of years ago. So Jimmy Nelson back to work. Brewers just stranded 2. Nick Markakis, Tyler Flowers, and Kelly Johnson will start it. Have you ever caught a 4-strikeout inning? Anything like that ring a bell?
No, the balls didn't get by me.
Oh, nice. Wow, I didn't see anything aggressive to say right there, but you came up with something. That was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Blocking everything.
No, I blocked it. Yep.
Good point. A 4-strikeout inning is not so much of a feat for a pitcher as it is a little bit of a knock, an indictment on the catcher.
Right, exactly.
Well
yeah, you're
done.
not going to catch me on that.
That's good. I believe the last 4-strikeout inning for the Brewers was Manny Parra. That's the last one I remember.
Although I might have been part of one offensively.
You might have been strikeout 1 and 4 at some point.
Maybe.
Well, the Braves dugout's excited about it, as you can see.
Hey, Jimmy throwing the fastball 92-93. You know, velocity a little bit down. Not sure about the gun here at Turner Field, but neither pitcher really lighting up the radar gun tonight.
3-2 count to the first 4 hitters for Jimmy Nelson. A lot of pitches early. As Markakis fouls it back out of play. Even though these two clubs are in rebuild mode, there is a definite distinction in feel when you get to the ballpark. I think the firing of Freddie Gonzalez sent a lot of shockwaves through the clubhouse, this organization. So you can't really feel like you're starting over as Markakis draws a walk. First walk given up by Nelson, first base runner for Atlanta.
You know, and you have you know, an interim manager that you know, pretty good chance he's not going to be back next year. A little different, or much different for the Brewers in that Craig Counsell is certainly the manager for the Brewers and going to be involved in the rebuild and the transition phase, and that was made very clear by Mark Atanasio in the general manager search.
Nelson with a man on for Tyler Flowers, who is emerging as the personal catcher for Julio Teheran, 30-year-old catcher. He's hit 1 home run this year. It was against the Pirates, and he did it against one of the best lefties in the game, in Francisco Liriano. Well, good sinker there by Jimmy Nelson.
You just see, couldn't get the bat head out. Flowers really tied up, and when he gets on top of that 2-seam where it really goes down quite a bit, really established inside. I think that's something that the Brewer pitching staff as a group has really started to concentrate on, coming inside. Jimmy's always done it.
And a ground ball up the middle, a base hit. Flowers will reach. Clean single up the middle, 2 on to start the inning for Atlanta.
They made a mistake on an 0-2 pitch and got a little bit too much of the plate. Tried to throw that power sinker once again and left it right down the middle. And Flowers able to get a piece of that one and round it up the middle. Yep, right through the box.
First and second, nobody out. Nelson will face Kelly Johnson now. Johnson was with the Braves last year and then traded to the Mets. He and Juan Uribe were traded to New York. That really started the turnaround for the Mets. Johnson's a native of Texas, Austin, Texas, but he's made his home here in Atlanta. So he was eager to sign a contract with the Braves to return. So not only did the Braves get a couple of pieces back in that trade, but also they got a chance to re-sign Kelly Johnson.
Yeah, they've got some veteran guys sprinkled in amongst some young players. You got Markakis and Freeman and A.J. Pierzynski and Jeff Francoeur. Jeff Francoeur is still playing. He's on the bench for the Braves.
Well, Nelson hoping for a ground ball here. He could use a double play. Johnson's bounced into 3 double plays this season. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Kelly Johnson played another half season with Atlanta, then ended up on another contender this year. Good guy to have around. Multiple positions, gives you a good left-handed bat off the bench, and he has some power. Able to take a big curveball. Jimmy hasn't been able to find the location with the curveball just yet.
Right. Well, it's one of those things that sometimes it takes a while, but you know, Jonathan Lucroy knows how important that pitch is, and he's going to make him keep throwing it to find it. Got to find the release point. Just can't give up on it. That's a big pitch for him, particularly against the lefties.
High pitch count early for Nelson. He's already thrown 30. We're in the 2nd inning with nobody out. And that one just missed. That's his best fastball yet. 95-mile-an-hour heat.
Yeah, a lot of full counts. That one didn't miss by much. Just at the bottom edge of the strike zone. And Adam Hamari, the home plate umpire, says, nope, a little low.
And he lost him. Ball 4. And now the Braves have him loaded. 2 walks and a single. And Jimmy Nelson in the deep waters early, and that's got his manager pacing in the dugout.
Yeah, a lot of pitches for Jimmy already. But he does have the bottom 3 in the batting order coming up, so there's a way out of this inning.
Quick trip to the mound for Lucroy. Braves hit their pitcher 8th. So this becomes a big hitter early for Jimmy Nelson. Some high stress pitches coming to Eric Ibar, the former Angel, part of that Andrelton Simmons deal. The Angels acquiring one of the great defensive shortstops in the game, sending Ibar here. Ibar and a couple of minor league pitchers. Big prospects in the Braves system now. Ibar has really struggled. He's hitting just $175 to start the year. Has just 6 runs batted in. He put together some excellent seasons as a member of the Angels.
Yeah,
but it has not been pretty here.
Yeah, the Brewers are playing for a double play up the middle. They're in at the corners. Looking to turn the conventional double play up the middle, and Aaron Hill and Carter are probably going to go to home.
Just 2 years ago, Ibar was an all-star with the Angels. Hit .278 that year with the LA Angels of Anaheim. Has won a Gold Glove in his career. He spent a decade in Anaheim, and his first organization other than the Halos. Nelson's fallen behind again. 2 balls and a strike.
2-1 pitch with the bases loaded, and Ibar knows he's going to get something to hit here. Don't want to go 3-1. And that even makes a 175 hitter a threat. when he's got the count in his favor.
3-1, not close. Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, and Craig Counsell keeping a close eye on Nelson. 3 balls, 1 strike. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Ibar lines it to third. Hill steps on the bag, and a double play. You talk about a gift. What a break for Jimmy Nelson.
And to make it even a better gift, it looked like ball 4. I mean, check it out. I mean, that pitch out away from him, and boy, there's nothing that Markakis could do about that. I mean, he took a couple of steps in a line drive, and that was a gift. You can see where the pitch is. It's up and away a little bit. That wasn't even a strike, and instead of ball 4 a run in, Jimmy Nelson gets a double play ball. There you go.
Wow. What a break that is. It's not just a double play ball. It's a double play with the pitcher coming up, hitting in the 8th spot of this Atlanta order. So the way out of the inning is in front of him.
It's amazing. Ibar very patient at the plate, and all of a sudden on a 3-1 count, he chases one and ends up lining out. There you go.
If he hits it a foot to the left, it's a bunch of attaboys. Good job. Way to go up there and be aggressive.
Or if he takes it.
Well, that would have scored 2, maybe 3. Had that one gotten by Hill. Tehran a swing and a miss. It's 0-2. And for Braves fans, it's one of those, that's how the season's been going. Pitch number 40 for Nelson. And a ground ball. Scooter Gennett is over. And Jimmy Nelson playing the card. Take him to Vegas. Gets out of a mess. No runs across. It's at the intersection of I-75 and I-285, Marietta, Cobb County. It's about 35 miles north of here, SunTrust Park. And it will be a state-of-the-art venue.
Got home plate all set up. Just to let everybody know that comes in where the field's, how the field's going to lay out.
As you mentioned in the pregame show as well, it's not just a ballpark. It is an entire neighborhood area. There are going to be all kind of development, shops, stores, restaurants,
condos, and everything, right?
The Braves are looking forward to that. It is interesting how they got out of this deal that they have with Fulton County, out of this stadium, and they're building a brand new one. There's also a brand new football stadium, multi-purpose stadium coming up here in downtown Atlanta. So they're going to have some great sporting venues. They're going to be paying for it for a long time. But
what do they do with this place?
That is the million-dollar question.
Atlanta Fulton County Stadium is now the parking lot. So
they still have the old wall up
right
from Fulton County Stadium, where Hank Aaron hit his famous 715th home run. Jimmy Nelson leading off for the Brewers. We play in the third inning. Braves had the bases loaded and nobody out. Nelson somehow got a double play out of a line drive bullet by Ibar. There's a called strike 3, and that is 5 strikeouts for Tehran. The last 5 outs have been via the K. Atlanta got some good news today. They announced, the NFL announced, that the 2019 Super Bowl is coming to the new stadium. So sports is on an uptick. Atlanta Hawks, they've been good, been a playoff team the last few years, and the Braves are hoping to follow suit.
yeah, but until recently it was all the other teams trying to follow suit with the Braves, right?
Yeah.
Look at all the flags out there in left field.
Still one of the greatest runs of success after completely rebuilding in the early 90s. But those 14 consecutive division titles, they dominated the National League East.
Yeah, they're going to be bringing those to the new ballpark for sure.
They won World Series title in 1995. We saw Bobby Cox earlier today. Always great to see Bobby. He looks good. He looks like he's lost a lot of weight. And you asked him if he misses managing. He said, of course. But he had an interesting answer. He, we're saying, well, you might want to step down there and finish the season. He goes, nah. You lose the feel when you're away from it.
Yeah. And if he says that, it's true, right? I mean, one of the best of all time.
Hall of Fame manager Bobby Cox. Great to see him. He was one of the great characters. He was instrumental in building the Braves in the late 80s and early 90s. Early 90s, better put. Coming from the Toronto Blue Jays to Atlanta. Called strike 3. My goodness.
This guy's carving up that outside corner.
Tehran with 6 strikeouts. His last 6 outs have been Ks.
I think the bottom line, and the Brewers need to be aware that this guy's not missing the corners by much. And look at number 6. Right on the edge. It's a borderline call. When you're throwing as many strikes as he's throwing, umpires are going to be ringing it up. Good job by Flowers making it look good.
Catching it on the up as opposed to the down. Good framing. 2 outs. Here's Jeanette. Takes a ball. Brewers have had a lot of strikeouts on this road trip, dealing with strikeout pitchers all the way through. Syndergaard struck out 11 in 7 innings on Sunday. Tehran's career high is 11. He has 6 already.
Tyler Flowers gives you a good target, doesn't he? 6'4", 260 pounds. That's a big man back there. You don't see catchers that big these days.
Bill Schroeder size.
Yeah, Carlton Fisk. The big wheel, Lance Parrish. He's a big dude back there.
And when you're that big, you can wear whatever kind of fingernail polish you want. Actually, those are stickers, so the pitcher can see the signals. A wave and a miss.
Change up.
2-2 on Jeanette.
Man mixes in everything. Boy, this guy's impressive. Works quickly. He pounds the strike zone. Doesn't really get behind hitters too much.
That fan just wore it. All those empty seats and a foul ball right at him. Smoked him in the shoulder.
Yep.
Right through the hands. Two-two to Jeanette. Steps out. All right, here comes. You're the only. Oh, as I see, his buddy got in the way there. It's like a Dikembe Mutombo rejection. Swinging a foul back.
You got to play those foul balls, barehanded off to the side.
Yeah, you can't keep them in your person.
Yeah, you're going to get hurt.
That's first rule in fantasy camp.
I mean, you're going to get hurt anyway. Your hands, at least you're not going to get one in the squash.
And get completely embarrassed and have replays of it. Jeanette hanging tough, trying to break the strikeout run by Tehran, and it will continue. 7 consecutive strikeouts for Julio Tehran. Wow. Now with a scoreless inning string of 15 2/3 with 3 scoreless here tonight.
At Turner Field in Atlanta, and our greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. A number of news and notes from around the league for you. We have a pair of 2 complete games to tell you about. The first one, no surprise, Clayton Kershaw last night against the Reds. A complete game, just 2 hits allowed, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, a 7-1 record for him on the season, and impressive, those 95 strikeouts, just 5 walks for Kershaw on the season. Johnny Cueto had his own complete game. He allowed 2 hits as well, and 6 strikeouts for him. Cueto also a 7-1 record, and Jackie Bradley Jr. just tonight has extended his hitting streak to 28 games with a double, so he's hitting .342 on the season. BA.
What a year he's having, Sophia. Jackie Bradley Jr. The Red Sox lead the Rockies 4-1. They're in the 3rd inning there. 28 straight games on the 75th anniversary of Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. And you were part of a long streak with Paul Molitor, 1987.
39 games for Paulie that year.
There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout. Malik Smith, the young outfielder, strikes out to start the inning. I mean, you get a streak like that, it starts to get very interesting as you see Nelson with the curveball getting Smith, but there's a lot to pay attention to when you start to get into
media starts paying attention, and he's going to get a lot of attention, and press conferences, and a lot of media around him. I remember that. It started with Paul Molitor around that time, maybe 26, 27 in a row, and got to 39, and by the pressure that Paulie had in that streak, amazing.
There's a base hit, just snuck inside the bag, and that's going to be an extra base hit for Ender Inciarte. It's the second hit for Atlanta, a double, and a speedy runner aboard in Inciarte, the former Diamondback.
Yeah, doing a good job with that curveball, and again, Jimmy's just having a difficult time locating that pitch, and either down in the dirt, he hung that one in. Inciarte didn't try and pull it. And went right with it, and doubles down the left field line. So he's got to get that pitch going for him. That's a big one.
Inciarte missed some time with a hamstring injury. Young outfielder. He's aboard after a double for Gordon Beckham. Beckham's another guy that missed some time with a hamstring injury. Was out about 3 weeks. Just returned to the active roster a couple of weeks ago. Longtime Chicago White Sox. Had a brief moment with the Angels. And back in his everyday role at third base with the Braves. He can also play a little second base if you need him.
That's a good fastball, up and in, tying him up. This is where that curveball down in the dirt is a very effective pitch for Jimmy, but it just doesn't have the feel for it quite yet.
A lot of base runners, a lot of pitches. Nelson has been able to survive so far. Got a huge break last inning, but sometimes breaks like that can propel you on.
Propels the whole team. You're thinking, maybe one, maybe 2 runs are going to score, and all of a sudden Jimmy's able to get out of that inning with nothing on the board, and sometimes that gets the whole team going.
Got a man at second. Pitch count is high for Nelson, already at 47. So it figures to be a short start, but Nelson hoping to get things organized quickly and at least get into the 5th or 6th inning. Brewers are not real interested in having Nelson go a lot more than 100 pitches in any start this season. And a swing and a miss. He got him. He struck him out with a breaking ball.
Yeah, slider way off the corner, and Beckham just waves at it. Well, we don't have to throw strikes. He's already given up an 0-2 base hit. That was to Tyler Flowers, and that one off the edge, and Beckham chases a bad one.
So the third strikeout for Jimmy Nelson. 2 outs, runner at second for Freddie Freeman. And with a base open at first, we'll see how aggressive Nelson wants to be here. This is the one bat that Craig Counsell and the Brewers have defined as the bat that you can't let beat you.
But you got a veteran on deck, although Markakis doesn't have the home run power.
Pickoff play, not a bad idea. Brewers have actually been very good at that play. They've got 1 pickoff this year, but it's been executed well. I think VR is a big part of that. He loves to get the throws. He's the one who's always
it's the shift that makes it easy. Right, it makes it easy. I mean, he's standing right behind the bag, and it makes it easy.
There's another one, and now Nelson hits the base runner. And Inciarte is going to end up at third base. I think they called obstruction there anyway. So it'll be an error on Nelson. He was going to get third regardless of the throw, but VR fell on Inciarte. Watch the second base umpire here.
Yeah, they're pointing it. It's not a dead ball. I mean, obstruction. You keep the play going, and if Enciarte is able to score, you keep going. If he gets thrown out at third, then he gets third base. It's the difference between interference and obstruction.
Runner at third, 2 away. Freeman, a swing and a miss at a fastball. Easy way to remember it: the defender, when it's on the defense, it's obstruction. When it's on the base runner, it's interference. You have fan interference as well. The only time that's different is catcher's interference, which I never understood. Shouldn't it be catcher obstruction? I mean, it fits all the rules.
Well, yeah, because if a hitter hits the catcher's glove and gets a base hit, you keep going.
The ball's live.
Right. I agree with you. That's a good point.
So I think we should change that to catcher obstruction now. Just between me and you.
We can do that.
CO.
Still an error.
We had 2 catcher's obstruction in the same game the other day, remember?
I do.
Who was that against? The Cubs, I think. Or was it the Padres?
Padres.
I've forgotten now. Yes, it was the Padres. 2 catcher's interference in the same game. It should be called catcher's
You didn't believe
obstruction.
me?
No, I believed you. Who else would I trust?
It was Hector Sanchez.
That's it. The 2-2. Freeman is late. Nelson pounding him with fastballs here.
Keeping it in on his hands, not allowing him to get those arms extended to drive one.
Good battle going on. Nelson doesn't look like he's working around Freeman whatsoever. Challenging him here with 2 away.
Enciarte is getting a monster lead down the line at third. I mean, he's not even as far as he's going to get. You got Hill off the line, and he just keeps creeping further and further down.
Freeman fouls another one off.
And what makes that an issue, a ball in the dirt, it doesn't have to get away too far for Enciarte to be able to get home. I mean, he's a good halfway down, but that ball's in the hitting zone.
He's looking at Bo Porter, former big league manager with the Astros, third base coach. You wonder how far he can go until he feels confident.
Get off as far as Hill is away from the bag, and Aaron Hill, look how far he is.
You can't try to steal home here because there are 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Nelson strikes out Freeman, and he picks up 3 strikeouts in the third. Gives him 4 for the game. Maybe that line drive with the bases loaded has turned him around. Good inning for Jimmy Nelson. Is rolling along right now through the first 3 innings.
Yeah, last 7 hitters, the last 7 outs have been strikeouts. The only guy to reach base was Aaron Hill. He got a base hit after the 3rd strikeout, and a wild pitch extended the inning. Our AT high-speed replay is Julio Teheran dealing tonight.
He's got a scoreless streak of nearly 16 innings. Going back to his last couple of starts. 3 scoreless here today. Nelson just striking out the side, has 4. Here's Ryan Braun to start it for Milwaukee. Braun, Lucroy, and Carter coming up. No score in Atlanta. If you're just joining us here, just getting home from work, the Brewers, with Nelson on the mound in the 2nd inning, had the bases loaded. The Braves had the bases loaded with nobody out, and Eric Ibar looked like he swung at ball 4. He hit a line shot to third base. Hill caught it and was able to double up the runner at third base, Markakis. And then Nelson got Teheran to ground out to end the inning. Just a miraculous turnaround. Bit of good fortune there for Nelson and the Brewers. And then Jimmy comes back with the 3 strikeouts in the 3rd inning. And looked a lot sharper, sticking with his fastball a lot more. Striking out Beckham and Freeman with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, one after another to Freddie Freeman, and Freeman a pretty good fastball hitter.
Up and into Braun with a breaking ball. Offensively for the Brewers, they had 2 men on in the 2nd. First batter reached Neuenhuis after a strikeout. There was a wild pitch. Aaron Hill has the lone single, stranding those 2 in the 2nd inning. Braun into center field. That ball's hit well. Back is Inciarte, and he's looking up, and goodbye. Ryan Braun to center field, a solo shot, and the Brewers have the lead here in the 4th. Home run number 8 for Ryan Braun.
An absolute bullet, and taking it out of here to center field. 400 feet out there, a line drive for Ryan Braun. The only question was it going to be high enough to get over the wall? It's a slider, a mistake slider for Julio Teheran, right down the middle, up in the zone, and Ryan didn't try and pull it. And the Brewers on the board here in the 4th inning.
Powerball home run count number 8 for Braun. Teheran knew he made a mistake. Braun has made a living destroying mistakes like that.
You don't hit too many really good pitches out of the ballpark. Those are the ones you have to take advantage of. That's one of the few mistakes that Teheran's made tonight, particularly with the slider.
And now Lucroy lines one left field. That's going to be caught by Smith. Hit it sharply, but right at the speedy Braves left fielder. Out number 1. Braun snaps that long scoreless streak for Teheran of 15 2/3 innings. What a powerful swing. That back is feeling just fine.
That's good leverage. I mean, stands up tall at the plate, and it's got that big bat, that 35-inch bat. Same swing on every pitch. It's just about the timing for Ryan Braun. Think he's not important to this lineup? Goodness.
Totally changes the dynamic of the batting order. He missed 5 out of 6 games. Missed 2 with a wrist injury. Came back and had a game against the Cubs where he drove in a run. And then the next day his back was bothering him. Surgically repaired back this offseason. Ended up missing the next 4. He didn't return until Sunday. Carter, a little half swing, and he goes. And that's going to be a strikeout for Teheran, number 8, as Carter is down swinging. Two gone. Here's Neuenhuis, who reached on a wild pitch on a swinging strike 3 his last time up. Neuenhuis is in one of those strikeout funks right now, trying to get out of it. All but his last 2 at-bats on this road trip have ended in strikeouts.
And look at the pitches that he has to deal with right there. First pitch curveball right on the outside corner. Then Tehran comes back with the heater right on the edge. And sometimes you're in that on deck circle. You got a 0-2 count.
You sound like you speak from experience.
No doubt. I mean, you get guys that are strikeout prone, like I was, like a lot of guys are, and always seems to make his best pitches on you.
One ball, 2 strikes on Neuenhuis. Flowers sets up inside. Neuenhuis, a swing and a foul tip right into the middle of the catcher. Another strikeout. 9 for Tehran, but the Brewers strike. A hanging slider. Ryan Braun knows what to do with those. Home run number 8 for number 8. Home run to center field puts Milwaukee on top. Just the second hit of the day for the Brew Crew. Carsoup.com trivia: where did the Brewers play their first game in the National League? Makes you wonder. Are we looking for the city or the ballpark? I send that question out to the powers that be.
I know it. I was here, so I'm not going to give any hints.
1998.
I was at that game.
When you say here,
in the booth.
Oh, okay, I get it. I don't feel like tonight's trivia is going to be too challenging after those hints. Nick Markakis leads off for the Braves. And these 2 pitchers now pouring in the strikes.
Where were you in 1998?
Well, I was finishing 3rd grade. No. I was in the Texas League. Stuck in the Texas League.
You and Matty Vasgersian?
Nah, he was long gone after that. His last year in the Texas League was '94, which was my first.
That's right. Matty was with me in '98. What am I talking about?
He was with you?
Yeah.
And you 2 possibly could have been here in the first National League game, right?
If it was here.
Like here in the booth, I mean. Here or there. Somewhere.
Heck, why don't we just give it away?
Just tell him it was right here in Atlanta. Turner Field.
A disappointing ending, I know that.
The game or the trivia today?
Yeah, both.
There's a called strike 3. Jimmy Nelson rings the bell again. He's got 5 now. And he's struck out 4 in a row. How about we give you the Carsoup.com question again, this time with the answer, since we have absolutely 0 suspense now that Rock has given it away. If you said Turner Field March 31st, 1998, you would.
How about that?
Tell them what they've won, Rock.
Another trivia question tonight. Maybe we should double up because I didn't mean to give it away.
I believe Carsoup.com has gotten their money's worth from tonight's trivia. We don't want to be giving stuff away at this point. Right. We'll have another one tomorrow. Quickly 0-2.
Yeah, we were talking about that game up here in the booth. You were hobnobbing with
yeah,
you know, Joe Simpson,
the Hall of Famers over there,
the guys over there. Yeah, and
I tapped into Hall of Fame.
Remember that game? David Nilsson actually played left field in that game.
Oh, okay.
Catcher.
What were the circumstances behind that?
I don't recall.
As a called strike 3, and Nelson has back-to-back backwards Ks. Well, since we brought it up, there's the Hall of Famer Don Sutton. He's got the sweet perm going right there. Phil Garner, the manager. Bobby Cox, future Hall of Fame skipper. That'd be a Bob Whitman sighting.
Yeah, that's the one I remember right there. That throw into left field that ended the game.
I see what you mean. Bobby Cox, John Sherholtz. There's a line shot. Oh, what a catch by Aaron Hill. A bullet with the shift on. The third baseman tonight, Aaron Hill, makes the play behind the bag at second. Wow. Boy, Jimmy Nelson has rolled the dice tonight. What a play this is. Aaron Hill and a 3-up, 3-down inning for Nelson. I'm not sure he saw it off the bat right away. It was in the big frame of Jimmy Nelson. Watch the late reaction here.
Yeah, I mean, the glove went up for Jimmy and kind of shielded a little bit, but watch the way Aaron Hill is able to angle back to get that line drive, and a couple of good plays by Aaron Hill to get Jimmy Nelson out of some hot water.
The two hardest hit balls of the night by the Braves have turned into outs, and they have both been caught by Aaron Hill. And he will lead off. Had the first hit for Milwaukee, a single to right field in the second inning. A hanging breaking ball in there for a strike. Hill comes in, batting .250. It's up to .256 with his single in the second inning. I got a follow-up for our Carsoup.com trivia, maybe just to bonus him a little bit.
Okay.
Can you name the first American League game, first opponent in the American League that the Brewers had in 1970? So the Brewers' opponent in the first National League game was the Braves in '98. Came into the big leagues, came into existence as an American League team And the first game.
Was it the Angels?
It was the Angels. Well done.
Yeah.
Then known as the California Angels. Just a bonus Carsoup.com trivia.
Yeah.
That's what we call a make good.
Were we supposed to allow them to chew on that, the audience, or did I give that one away too?
I think you gave that one away fairly quickly as well. But the fact that you knew it takes you off the hook there. Ground ball to short. Ibar will make the play. Hill is retired.
Hey, this Sunday, kids 14 and under can show off their artistic talents with the Paint Your Own Bernie Brewer bobblehead, courtesy of Waterstone Bank. Plus, kids will also enjoy a free lunch, compliments of Pick and Save, Blue Bunny, and Heinz. Reserve your spot at Brewers.com.
That looks like a lot of fun. I think that's a great idea. Whoever came up with that idea deserves the day off tomorrow in the Brewers front office. Or at least a parking spot. Flores on the first pitch, bounces out. 2 up, 2 down. Tehran's only given up 2 hits. Ryan Braun led off the 4th with a booming home run to center. Here's Jimmy Nelson now. Brewers have faced some tough pitching. Tehran has always been good against Milwaukee. He is the Braves' ace. Tehran's career ERA against Milwaukee is 2.04. Threw a complete game against the Brewers at one point. I remember that one.
Yep, 31 strikeouts in that stretch before tonight, in 35 in the 3rd inning. So he's always had the strikeout ability against Milwaukee.
Nelson way late. Spotted fastball on the outside corner. 1-2 the count. Tehran with 9 strikeouts already. 2 off his career best. And we're only in the 5th. And a lot of backwards Ks in that grouping as well. Tehran's been the Braves' opening day starter 3 consecutive seasons. Two to Nelson. Got him. Strikeout number 10. A 3 up 3 down inning after the homer. Tehran has retired 6 straight with 3 strikeouts.
brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business.
Brewers leading 1-0 in Atlanta, capital city. Ryan Braun with a home run in the 4th inning is the difference. Hey, Brewers fans, a reminder, if you can't catch the games on television, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app, take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball with you wherever you go. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Jimmy Nelson has righted the ship. Nelson with 6 strikeouts now. Tehran with 10. Fielders are optional in this game. Eric Ibar will lead off, then the pitcher Tehran, and then the 9-hole hitter Malik Smith. Yes. Ibar had a big moment in this game offensively.
Yeah, swung a ball 4, lined out into a double play with the bases loaded. 16 punch outs between the two teams already.
Aren't many scenarios that an offense has the bases loaded and nobody out and failed to score. That's one advantage the offense has, scoring a run, but Brewers know that feeling all too well. In an extra inning game against the Cubs, they had them loaded, couldn't score the run. They ended up losing in extra innings on the last homestand. Ibar probably chased ball 4. He had a line shot, but it was caught and it ended as a double play. That one's off the glove of Nelson. Jeanette hurries it over to first. No chance. Doesn't even bother with a throw. Ibar is safe on an infield hit to start the inning.
Yeah, Jimmy throwing the glove up there, knocked it down, and Scooter was heading up the middle and had to redirect his momentum and not able to make a play. Well, if he doesn't knock it down, it's going to be a line drive into center field, but Jimmy able to keep it in the infield, but no play for Jeanette. And Ibar able to beat it out.
And that'll bring up the pitcher Tehran. Up there to bunt. Shows it early. Scampers out of the way. It's almost a strike. I think that would be my reaction facing any major league pitcher under any circumstance. Like bail.
Yeah, throw a breaking pitch and you're going to get the old jelly leg right there. Curveball. Tehran's has been successful in 3 sacrifice bunts.
Moves up in the box. And he gets one down. That's a good one. Nelson will take it. And a low throw. Wow, what a pick over there by Jeanette. That saved Nelson an error.
An error and probably second and third and nobody out.
Sack bunt goes 1-4. Heck of a play by Jeanette.
And a nice bunt by Tehran. That was a nice job at deading that baseball. Spikes it to first base, but that ball gets down the line. It's at least second and third and nobody out, or one out, I should say.
Yeah.
It was right the first time, nobody out.
Heck of a play by Jeanette. Runner at second, 1 away. Here's Malik Smith. Speedy young outfielder. The Braves bat him 9th. Very similar to what Joe Madden did with Addison Russell last year. Protecting the young hitter by batting him in the 9 spot. The least pressure you can find. Craig Counsell did that with Keon Broxton early in the season.
Yeah, really the only guy once he gets on is going to think about stealing. He's got 6 stolen bases, but he's been caught 5 times.
Once you get around in the lineup, he acts as a second leadoff hitter. Braves are desperate to try to find base runners for their run producers, namely Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis. Smith is benefiting from the Braves in a rebuild situation here. Probably a guy that, if the Braves are a contender, he would still be in AAA, but he's talented enough, has a bright enough future. He's a big enough prospect where they decided to bring him up, see how he does in the big leagues, and he's held his own. He's had 3 homers, has those 6 stolen bases. A center fielder by trade, playing left field with Inciarte in center.
And he's done a pretty good job so far in these spots, runners in scoring position. He does punch out a lot, but he's hitting .360 with runners in scoring position.
He's got one there now with 1 away, and a swing and a line drive that is going to get down, a base hit. A run is in, Ibar scores, and Smith on his way to third base with a stand-up RBI triple. All tied at 1. Second triple of the year for Malik Smith.
And another mistake for Jimmy Nelson on an 0-2 count. You just can't make these mistakes. Second time it's happened. I'm not sure what it was. It looked like a slider. Didn't do a whole lot, but 0-2, he rips it down the line for a triple to score a run. You don't need to throw a good pitch on 0-2. He did, and he paid for it. Now the top of the order coming up.
And a runner at third with 1 out. That's going to force the infield in, which is a testament to how Tehran is pitching tonight. And this is a spot where Nelson could use a strikeout. Tehran has 10 of them. Nelson sitting on 6 strikeouts. One of those strikeout victims was Inciarte in the first. Oh, and 2 the count.
And can't make another mistake on 0-2. 2 hits tonight of the 4 for the Braves have been on 0-2 counts.
Smith and Flowers with those 2 hits. Oh, 2. Nelson deals. Fly ball foul. It's always interesting for a pitcher in a spot like this to elevate a fastball, because you know the hitter is thinking, get something elevated, he can get to the outfield. Sometimes you can get him to chase when a sacrifice fly will get a run in. Inciarte was able to get the bat on that one. See what he does here. Smith takes his lead at third, and another high fastball. And Inciarte offers again.
Yeah. And when Jimmy's got the good breaking stuff going, he's going to be spiking that slider, the curveball down in the dirt, and he's had a difficult time locating the off-speed pitch, the slider and the curveball tonight. So he just as soon take his chances on some high fastballs. Let's see what he does here.
Feels like he's got him set up. Lucroy wants a curveball. And it's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Lucroy has to secure it at first. He does so. Oh, what a beautiful piece of pitching there by Jimmy Nelson. Going up high with a fastball, coming back with the curveball in the dirt. 7th strikeout for Nelson in the second out of the inning.
Yeah, try to get him to chase and swing through a couple of high 4-seamers at 94. And that was probably his best curveball with 2 strikes tonight right there. That's exactly where you want it. You know Lucroy is going to block it. And he gets his man, gets the out.
And now the infield can back up to regular depth. Runner at third still, the go-ahead run. 2 outs, Gordon Beckham the batter. Inside, almost hit him. 2-0 the count. Got the dangerous Freddie Freeman due up next. Which is going to put Gordon Beckham in ready to swing mode here. Oh, he takes one. Wow.
Yep,
Fastball right down the heart.
Yeah, right at the top of the zone, but right down the middle of the plate. Struck out on a slider way off the outside corner his last time up.
Look out. Yikes, that got him. Now you could hear it. Just nicked his hand. And Nelson hits a batter to put the runners at the corners with Freddie Freeman coming up.
Yeah, last thing Jimmy wanted to do right there, he wanted to get Beckham. That was the guy he wanted to end this inning. And just not able to throw enough strikes, and gets a piece of the hand, I guess, right on the bottom hand. And now Freddie Freeman with another chance with a man in scoring position to drive in a run.
Freeman was in a similar spot in the third with a runner at second. He struck out to end the inning. Braves have a run in. RBI triple by the rookie Malik Smith. He's still at third. Beckham at first. And Nelson facing the Braves' best player now. 2 outs in the frame. Freeman late again.
And it continues to be late on the fastball, right? I mean, the last time up, I think. And Jimmy, once he got ahead 2 strikes, he threw him like 5 straight fastballs to get him.
1 for 6. The Braves in scoring position. Brewers only had 1 runner in scoring position. That was back in the second inning. The run came on a Ryan Braun homer in the 4th. Braves just tied it here in the 5th. No balls and a strike. And way inside. What a play by Lucroy. There's not a lot of catchers that make that play.
No. They made a couple of those nice plays in New York as well. You can see him setting up outside, and look where it ends up, about a foot on the other side of the plate. So he moved a good 1.5 feet to get that one.
Looked like a hockey goalie back there. Did he go? Yes, he did. Third base umpire Dan Bellino raises the thumb on Freeman, and it's 1-2.
Yep.
If you're Freddie Freeman, you have to be thinking fastball. Nelson is pouring him in, and Freeman has not been able to get around on any of them at this point. 1-2 pitch. And he lines one left field foul. He sliced it. Hit that one on the barrel at 95.
Yeah, the more he sees that fastball, the better chance he has of getting a piece of it. You know, the fastball, one thing, you want to get it up in the zone, you throw that curveball back in the dirt.
A low ball hitter. He always has been. Got great power too on the low pitch. He is their home run leader with 8. 4 of those coming here at this ballpark. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Back to the high fastball. Jimmy Nelson tonight is just wild enough to be a little scary for a hitter. He's a little bit all over, but he's been able to corral it when he's needed to. He's got a couple of breaks on line drive outs. He's got to make a big pitch here. 1st and 3rd. Go ahead and run at third base for Atlanta. And Freeman pops it up. Foul territory. That's going to end up in the seats.
Nothing but fastballs to Freeman. I guess if you're Jonathan Lucroy and you're watching Freddie Freeman be behind everything that Jimmy's throwing at him with the fastball, why do him a favor, speed up his bat, throw it, and risk making a mistake with a breaking pitch.
Twilight part of the night. Pop-ups, fly balls are no guarantee to be caught this time of the night. Ball blends in until the lights take full effect. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lucroy inside, pitches inside, and misses. Now 3-2. And with a pitch count soaring, it's going to send the runner at first on the move, Beckham. The 8th pitch of the at-bat coming from Nelson. Freddie Freeman has seen a lot of pitches. Runner goes. Freeman swings. A high fly ball to left. Braun going back at the track. He makes the play. And the inning is over. And Braun gives you a look like, I didn't see that all the way. Calls it in. The inning is over.
One between the Brewers and the Braves as we head to the 6th. Our crew in the community tonight is Beyond the Diamond, a series of community outreach events that take place each month during the season, all of which involve partnering with the Brewers Community Foundation, players, coaches, Brewers' wives, alumni, and team personnel working in the community. These events are funded in part by BCF and focused on the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. For details, you can visit brewers.com/beyondthediamond.
All right, Sophia, thanks. And here we go to the 6th inning. Julio Teheran back on the mound for Atlanta. Top of the order for the Brew Crew: Jonathan Villar, Scooter Gennett, and Ryan Braun. First ball swinging, a line drive to center. Villar with a base hit to start the inning.
He doesn't go very long in between hits. I mean, he might go into some areas where he's not feeling all that comfortable at the plate, but always seems to be able to find his way on base, whether it's a walk or a hit. And able to hang right in there and hit that one. A good start for the Brewers in the 6th.
One out of 3 for the Brewers shortstop. And a base stealer is on. Teheran has a very good move to first. He's a tough guy to run on. Scooter Gennett up there for the 3rd time. He's 0 for 2. And this is the time now that Teheran's in the stretch, which he has rarely been in tonight, that the Brewers will try to put the ball in play and get things moving.
Well, you got to be careful if you're VR. I mean, Teheran can pick off guys at a very nice rate. 21 pickoffs since the beginning of 2013. I mean, he's very quick to first base.
Has the feet of an infielder. Gennett lays off.
And he's going to give Jonathan Villar his best move over there. As you know, the Villar would like to steal a base.
See Carlos Ribeiro, the first base coach, going through the times. He keeps a stopwatch in his right hand. All the times from the pitcher to the plate. or if he throws to first. Used to be very secretive about all that information, but nowadays the first baseman standing right there, and first base coaches. Davey Lopes was the first one I remember doing that. He'd walk up there and he'd say, "Oh, he's a 1-5 to first. The catcher's a 2-0, so you can run whenever you're ready."
What's the first baseman going to do, right?
He's going to call timeout and give the stats. He's running. And there's that quick move. That's a short lead, and that's about all VR can get.
Yeah, that's a short lead for VR. And he likes to get that front foot right around the beginning of that cutoff, maybe even a little bit more if he has a guy out there on the mound. He knows that isn't going to have that quick move. And he keeps inching out there, getting that bigger lead. He's seen the best move.
He goes and a swing and a ground ball to second. That'll keep him out of a double play. And Johnson makes the out at first. So Jeanette is gone, but VR advances. And the go-ahead run is at second with Ryan Braun coming up.
Yeah, good base stealers are going to, want to see the best move a pitcher has. Tehran gave it to him on the second throw over to first. Got a bigger lead and took off right away.
Ryan Braun at the plate tonight, presented by Blaze Pizza. Solo home run to center field to lead off the fourth inning. It was a missile out of here. This is not an easy ballpark to hit one out of, especially during night games. Very much a pitcher's park. Big swing by Braun. Take you back. Fourth inning, Ryan Braun leading off. And there it goes.
A hanging slider, one of the few that he's thrown tonight, and Brawny made him pay for it.
Braun now with 8 homers, 29 runs batted in. He's got a runner at second, trying to give the Brewers the lead again. Had a good swing, but he fouls it back. Turner Field surrendering the fewest home runs by ballpark this season. A lot of that has to do with the home team and their lack of power.
Right.
But it is a big ballpark. Now, when it gets all heated up in the summertime, ball flies a lot better, of course.
But this is still a pretty good pitcher's park.
No doubt. Big alleys here. Tehran going through a few options with his catcher. Settles on one, delivers to Braun, and he fouls it away. If you put Miller Park, the dimensions on top of Turner Field, it's identical to center. Down the lines are about the same, especially down the left field line. Matter of fact, Miller Park is a little deeper down the left field line. But it's the power alleys where this becomes a pitcher park. About 20 to 30 feet deeper in the alleys than it is in Milwaukee. By comparison, Miller Park has surrendered 68 home runs, second most in baseball to this point. It's a Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati has allowed the most homers, if you're wondering. 1-2 to Braun with VR at second. He's got a big lead. Tehran staring him back a little bit. And now he'll step off.
No, just stay put. I mean, Ryan Braun, Jonathan Lucroy coming up. No reason to try and get to third base unless you can just make it easily, which is a very difficult thing to do with Tehran on the mound.
Feels like a stop sign would be on in a spot like this. But he's got Tehran's attention, and Braun hits it sharply to the shortstop. Ibar going to third, and VR is out.
Oh, another base running mistake. I mean, they're piling up for the Brewers, and in particular Jonathan VR. I mean, you don't go to third base on a ball hit in front of you, and he knows that he made a mistake. I mean, this is clear. You don't go on this. This is an easy out for the Braves. They get the lead runner going to third easily. And there's a gift out. Well, now Lucroy's up with a man at first.
He knows he made a mistake. So let's see if Braun tries to run. Here's Lucroy now. Cut and a miss.
Yeah, same thing happened to Jonathan in New York, but it was a situation where he was taking his lead off of second. The ball was actually hit behind him, but the Mets were playing up the middle, and it was an easy out, short to third. A little bit more of a, I guess, a little more of a complicated read for VR there in New York as opposed to this last one.
Oh, 2 to Lucroy now.
And you know, you talk about all the close games the Brewers have been in. One-run games, two-run games that you lose, and those base running mistakes make a big difference. And Craig Counsell knows that better than anybody.
And instead of VR at second with Lucroy, a very good hitter at the plate. Might take 2 hits to get a run in. With Braun's speed, if Lucroy could find an alley or hit one down the line, he'd have a chance to score as well. Lucroy able to check a swing. One and 2 on Lucroy. 0 for 2 tonight. He did line out his last time up. Put a good swing on Tehran. Hit it right at the left fielder. Found his power stroke on the last homestand. Lucroy had home runs in 3 consecutive games against San Diego on the last homestand. Two and 2 with 2 outs. All tied at 1. And Lucroy fouls it back. Just a tick late. See what Tehran does here. 2 and 2. Braun stays put. Lucroy fouls another one away.
You just can't get the bat head out on Tehran. Ryan Braun did it on the hanging slider, but nobody's really centered on the fastball too much. Just in the back of your mind, if you're a right-handed hitter, you're thinking slider coming, and yes, just with that thought in mind, you're just not sure on the fastball, and Lucroy's had a couple of good ones to hit.
Another 2-2 coming to Lucroy. Good battle here. 2 all-stars. Down he goes. He got him with a slider. That was a nasty pitch. And the Brewers run themselves out of a potential inning. Still tied at 1 in Atlanta. We head to the bottom of the 6th. in the South. And a reminder that Sunday, FS1 UFC night, Fight Night returns. 2 unstoppable, undefeated bantamweights collide. There will not be a winner in this one. They're both unstoppable and unbeatable. Got a good matchup there. Next Sunday, 4:30 p.m. on FS1, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Jimmy Nelson against Nick Markakis. Markakis leading off for the 3rd consecutive plate appearance. Freddie Freeman, the man in front of him, has made the last out his first 3 times up.
Hit that last one pretty well. Took Ryan Braun almost back to the warning track and starting to catch up to that fastball for Jimmy.
Nelson got a high pitch count through the first 2 innings. Pitching into the 6th here, he's at 92. 23 pitch 2nd inning for Nelson. And Markakis draws a walk. Not a good way to start the frame for Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's not been able to get those early ground ball outs as the bullpen for the Brewers is getting busy. Capuano and Boyer.
The 2 bearded veterans down there. They've both pitched well.
Yeah, Jimmy's only got 1 ground ball out tonight. He's usually much better than that with that 2-seam fastball.
Strikeouts have been the story. Tehran has 11, matching his career high. Nelson has 7. But he's just issued his 3rd walk and he's hit a batter. Tyler Flowers singled in the 2nd. Nelson struck him out looking in the 4th. High drive into center. That is well hit. Neuenhuis. Oh, what a catch. Kirk Neuenhuis reaches up and robs Flowers of an extra base hit.
Well, the advantage of playing deep, and Tyler Flowers, well, he barreled that one up and hit it hard. A nice play by Neuenhuis right in front of the warning track. Well, fastball down again. Jimmy not able to get those ground ball outs. I think Flowers might have thought he hit one there. Yeah, just his reaction when he dropped the bat. Look at Neuenhuis going back and able to make the catch. Well, that certainly is going to save a run.
With some line drive outs, big part of the story tonight for Jimmy Nelson. 3 of the hardest hit balls of the night have turned into outs in big spots. 1 away, runner at first. Now a ground ball double play will get him out of the inning and get him through 6 tonight.
And Jimmy loved to get that 2-seamer down and get a ground ball. It's been a difficult thing for him to do tonight.
Kelly Johnson lined out in the 4th inning. That was that great play by Aaron Hill, who was over on the shift.
Now Aaron Hill, who was in normal position at 3rd base protecting against a bunt. Now that there's 2 strikes, Aaron's going back to his spot up the middle.
All tied at 1. Nelson and Tehran matched up in a good one here. Braves have gotten some good licks in on Jimmy Nelson, but not much to show for it. 0-2 the count on Johnson, and a little jam shot foul took that one out of the glove of Lucroy. That was an emergency hack. May have broken his bat.
Up a hanging curveball. He was trying to get that pitch down. Look where it ended up. Look where it broke. I mean, took a chunk out of the handle. I don't ever see that.
That's a full commitment to a swing when you chase a pitch like that. Kelly Johnson. He's walked and then lined out. Brewers with the shift on. 3 infielders on the right side. And a high fastball for Nelson. His velocity is a little down tonight. It's not bad by any stretch. He's still humming along at 93, 94 miles an hour. He's hit 95 a couple of times, but we haven't seen the consistency with the fastball in the mid-90s.
It's going to happen from time to time, but he's able to battle his way through. He's only given up 1 run at this point.
And a swing and a miss. Down goes Johnson. A strikeout for Nelson. His 8th. And Rock, let's take a look at all these line drive outs. These are all big ones in the game tonight.
Yeah, this is the biggest one with the bases loaded, nobody out. Aaron Hill able to snare one. He gets another one. Kelly Johnson the victim this time, and then Tyler Flowers. Yeah, the first out into 6 after a walk. And look at a play by Neuenhuis. Well done. That saved extra bases, maybe a run.
Nelson just picked up his 8th strikeout on his 100th pitch of the night. First ball swinging. Eric Ibar, foul territory, got a chance, and it's caught by Hill to end the inning. Hill up against the railing. Boy, the Brewers are flashing the leather tonight. Excellent play by Hill. And a great catch to start it from Neuenhuis. This one with all kind of landmines. Hill hauls it in.
Flash madness.
Memorial Day weekend at Miller Park. Going to be a lot of fun. The Brewers are home for a 6-game homestand. The Reds and the Cardinals coming up. Division rivals. Still got 3 here in Atlanta. This is the first of 3 all-night games this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we got a good one going tonight. All tied at 1. Tehran and Nelson pitching well. You figured Nelson is probably done. Up over 100 pitches. And now we'll see if the Brewers can give him the lead. Chris Carter, 3rd in the National League in home runs. He is the top Brewers home run hitter on the Powerball home run leaderboard. He's hit 13, has 31 runs batted in. Tehran's had his number tonight, though. He struck him out twice.
Just takes one mistake. And Chris Carter can knock it out of here with the best of them.
Carter has great power to center field and right center. That's where most of his home runs have come this year.
Even on a 2-0 count, Chris Carter, fouls that one off. That's what we were talking about. 1 to right, 9 to center field. He's only pulled 3 of them. But that 2-0 fastball right on the edge, right on the corner. Good pitch.
Carter homered earlier on this road trip. First game, first inning in that series against New York last Friday. Hit one over the center field wall on Steven Matz. 3 balls, a strike. Carter fouls it away.
That's the thing about Julio Teheran. He's only throwing 91, 92. Hits 93 once in a while, but Brewers haven't been able to center up on that fastball for some reason. Hides it well, and with that slider, the way he's able to throw that for strikes, guys aren't really selling out on the fastball too much. Look at that pitch right on the outside corner on a 3-1 count.
And Carter strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. Elevated the fastball that time. Carter is gone, and a new career high for Julio Teheran, 12 strikeouts. As we play here with 1 out in the 7th. Plenty of those tonight.
Yep, on a fastball down the middle at about 91 miles an hour. That's impressive. 12 punch outs and no walks.
The lone run was a Ryan Braun home run in the 4th. So 1 away. Here is Neuenhuis coming off that great catch. Sometimes when you're struggling at the plate like Neuenhuis is, you make a play like that defensively, that can get you going. It gets the confidence spiked a little bit.
You've got to help the team somehow, right? What are you doing for the team when you're not hitting? Neuenhuis maybe saved the run last inning.
This could be Teheran's last inning as well.
And he's due to lead off the 7th, bottom of the 7th.
And Neuenhuis rolls one to second. Johnson for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up Aaron Hill now.
Hey, tonight's time of the game winner. Great spot bar and grill in Juneau. Great spot bar and grill in Juneau. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. The Great Spot Bar and Grill.
That's when you get the call from home and they say, where are you? I'm in a great spot. We welcome all of those from the Great Spot watching us tonight.
In Juneau.
In Juneau. Put your rally caps on at the Great Spot in Juneau. Aaron Hill, who's been all over the place defensively tonight, takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. He had a single off Teheran in the 2nd. The Brewers have just 3 hits. VR and Hill with singles. Braun had the home run in the 4th. That's been it. Aaron Hill skies this one shallow center field. Inciarte is there, and Julio Teheran matches Jimmy Nelson. Those 2 pitch well across 7 innings.
1, and Will Smith began his minor league rehab assignment tonight with the Brevard County Manatees, and it was a successful outing for him. He pitched in the 7th, 1 inning, just 1 hit allowed, 1 strikeout, no walks, and it was 15 pitches and 9 strikes for Will Smith. So good news for Craig Counsell and the Brewers on that front. And Corey Knebel and Matt Garza continue to make good progress. Both are scheduled to throw bullpens tomorrow. Knebel will go 45 pitches, Garza will go 60, and if those outings go well, both of them will throw a live batting practice on Saturday at Miller Park. So good news all the way around for the Brewers bullpen.
All right, Sophia, thank you. Will Smith anxious to get back. Impressive that he can come back, not going to knee surgery. Bullpen's been great though, Rock, over the last stretch of games, covering 16 games, a 1.61 bullpen ERA. Michael Blazek's been a big part of that.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, he is 1-1. He did suffer that one and only loss on Saturday against the Mets. It was a walk-off for the Mets in that particular game, and Blazek has the 7th. Another close game for the Brewers here tonight. This bullpen has been good all year, pretty much. I mean, but they've been really, really good as of late.
Michael Blazek, typically the 7th inning pitcher when the Brewers have the lead. Counsell brings him on in a 1-1 game. The pinch hitter is Reed Brignac.
This is where you want to get the Braves. You get them when that bullpen comes in. It's been a really shaky ride for that Braves bullpen. So, yep, Tehran's gone.
Tehran goes 7, career high 12 strikeouts tonight. Brignac fouls it away. Jimmy Nelson goes 6. He strikes out 8. Each starting pitcher giving up 1 run. Neither. Well, I shouldn't say that yet, but Jimmy Nelson won't factor in the decision. Tehran could still win the game if the Braves take the lead here. But both exit in a 1-1 tie.
And Julio Tehran once again saying, where are the runs for me? He doesn't get any run support whatsoever.
He's been the one guy in the Braves starting rotation without the run support. Of course, where he slots in, because he's the opening day starter, it starts to be not as much of a factor. You get this deep in the schedule. However, the first month or so, you're always ending up in the same place as the opposition's 1 or 2 starter, just by the way you begin the season. And so a lot of early outings against aces for Tehran. A called strike 3. Blazek with a fastball strike on the outside corner, and Brignac, he's out number 1.
Yeah, when you first saw that pitch, it looked like it was a little bit off the plate. Brignac takes it, and he's still barking at home plate umpire Adam Hamari. Didn't like the call. It was a 2-seamer that looked like it was off the outside corner. Check it out. Is that a strike? I don't know.
Mr. Hamari said so. And Blazek keeps the strikeout theme going. Brewers have 9 strikeouts for their pitchers. And Tehran with 12 punch-outs. And now Adam Hamari rips that mask off, and he's barking at the Atlanta dugout.
That might be Kevin Seitzer, the hitting coach. It could be Brignac. Who knows?
Good breaking ball for a strike.
Kevin Seitzer in his playing days, former Brewer. He's been known to light up an umpire or two.
That's a good way to put it. There he is. Spent some time with the Royals. Kevin Seitzer found a home here in Atlanta. I hear a lot of great things about him as a hitting coach. Very good mechanics instructor, they say.
He could hit. Very good contact hitter.
Alex Smith at the plate. He drove in the Braves' lone run with a triple in the 5th. RBI triple that scored Ibar, who had led the inning off with an infield hit. And it's ball 4. Blazek walks him.
Not the guy you want to walk. He can run.
Speedy base runner aboard. 6 stolen bases this year. for Malik Smith, and we'll see if he's on the move with Inciarte coming up.
Yeah, 6 stolen bases, but he's been caught 5 times, so still learning how to steal bases.
Inciarte and Smith, 2 center fielders that are in the lineup together tonight, with Smith playing left field. They move him over. Braves are about as fast as you can be in the 9-1 spot in their batting order with Smith and Inciarte. Smith has never seen Blazek. He's just a rookie. I'm sure he's gotten the report about Blazek's move, but he made that a little closer than the Braves thought it should be. Blazek gets it to first about as quick as anybody. And another one sends Smith into a dive.
That's a pretty good lead by Smith.
Tough guy to double up here, Inciarte. He runs well as well. He's got to hit one right at an infielder with something on it. 1 out, 7th inning. And another check on the runner. Close.
Michael Blazek is a guy that can give you, 93 to 95 on the fastball. I wonder if they're, the pitch tracks or the speed gun here at Turner Field dialed down a little bit. It does seem like these guys are throwing a lot harder than it actually seems.
I'll give you that. That's happened before.
I mean, you think about all the fastballs that have been missed in this game, and they're showing 92, 91. Blazek can get it 95.
I have it on good authority that there was a ballpark in the National League, speaking of Braves, when John Rocker would come into a game. There goes the runner, swinging a drive into center field. Neuenhuis makes the catch, and Smith retreats quickly. So a line drive out to Neuenhuis. But yeah, when John Rocker would come into a game, they used to take the radar gun readings, and it was a manual input. So there'd be an employee behind home plate. He would have the gun, he would get the readings, and then he would enter it in, and he'd always make it 3 or 4 miles an hour slower. When John Rocker was on the mound, and it would infuriate John Rocker.
Get into his head a little bit.
He's like, now he's trying to throw it through a wall, and he'd walk everybody.
Right.
I'm sure there's a little gamesmanship that way. I'm not saying that's the way it is tonight. Could have everything to do with the barometric pressure. I have no idea, but it does seem like Teheran and Nelson, as that ball bounces off of Smith. But it seems like the 2 starters, the radar gun readings did not show what we're seeing from the hitters.
Right, exactly. That's what I was saying. And then Blazek, 91, 92. I mean, he is consistently 94, 93.
Runner starts, then stops, and a strike call to Beckham. I think it's a generation of radar gun watchers, because the radar gun is so important in amateur baseball. There are instructors who base their entire academy or instruction on getting the radar gun readings up for a young player. Runner takes off. Lucroy's throw to second is late. And on a hop, Jeanette thinks he's got an out here. He thinks Smith came off the bag on the slide, so the Brewers will take a look at this.
Well, if he jumps up, I mean, a lot of guys will hit the bag and then jump off and come off just a little bit, but that's all it takes these days to get an out call. Check it out. Does he do it?
Jeanette is confident he has an out. Kept the tag on him, foot's up, he's out. How about that?
Yeah.
And for a rookie player, this is something you don't have in the minor leagues. So there's a new way to slide in the big leagues. You have to keep that foot on the base.
Yeah, but there he is right there. He's out. That's a good job by Jeanette holding the tag. This is going to get overturned. I mean, that's clear. That's a good pick by Scooter Jeanette, and he's able to apply the tag and keep it on there.
And so the crew chief, Tom Hallion, over with the calling umpire, Tony Randazzo.
Can't imagine this taking too long.
Here come the headsets, and we got an out. Wow, Scooter Jeanette lets him know that he's got an out on the play, kept the tag on him. That's the way you got to do it these days. Hold that glove on the leg the whole way. Inning over. Darnell Coles, the hitting coach, trying to dial up the right plan here for this eighth. Miller Lite, what's on tap? It'll be Junior Guerra coming off a career game. His last time out, he struck out 11. Mike Fultonevich will pitch for Atlanta. That's tomorrow. We're on the air at 5:30 Central. First pitch just after 6. It's been a night of the strikeout. The lone run for the Brewers came on this Ryan Braun home run in the 4th, his 8th of the year. And then Tehran continued with the strikeout binge. 12 of them tonight, a career high. 7 innings. Only allowed 3 hits. Meanwhile, Jimmy Nelson tonight, he strikes out 8 across 6 innings. He labored early and got the benefit of a couple of big breaks, line drive outs. One of them with the bases loaded and nobody out turned into a double play, but both starters showing well tonight. 20 both out and no decisions.
20 punch outs between them. And showing why they're two of the up-and-coming stars as far as pitchers go, as Bud Norris takes over. They took him out of the rotation the end of April. He's been doing a much better job out of the bullpen. His bullpen numbers very good. He was not really doing all that much as a starter, but in 7 games as a reliever, a 132 earned run average.
Norris, the former Astro, ended up with the Orioles. I saw him pitch in the playoffs 2 years ago for Baltimore. He was as good as there was. Baltimore swept the Tigers in the division series of the American League. But it's amazing how how fast it can fall away. This game can humble you so quickly.
Yeah.
Norris was at the top of his game pitching for the O's. He had a terrific starting rotation that season.
Yeah, made 5 starts this year, had an 874 earned run average.
He had some great moments as an Astro too. The Astros thought they had an anchor starter for many years to come before he was traded to Baltimore. 2 years ago, Bud Norris won 15 games for Baltimore. 15-8, had a 3.65 ERA on a playoff team.
Yeah.
Last year pitched with the Padres. He was let go by the Orioles, picked up by San Diego, and here he is in Atlanta now. Only half of that phrase, easy come, easy go, applies to the big leagues. It's hard to come, but it is easy to go when things start going awry.
Right. They kind of snowball on you. And you know, Bud Norris made some really good starts against the Brewers when he was a member of the Astros, but there was always that one inning that seemed to really be his demise in every one of those starts. See that last pitch just missing the inside corner.
Ramon Flores takes ball 4, and a good start for the Brewers. A leadoff walk. Pitcher spot is coming up, so Counsell will go to his bench now. And he'll bring on left-handed hitting Alex Presley. Presley will get an at-bat. He's hitting .244 this year. He's shown a little power. He's hit 3 home runs. Flores not a stolen base threat. You don't see the hit and run very often anymore in the game. But the Brewers are trying to get a run on the board here, turn it over their terrific bullpen. Blazek working a scoreless 7th inning. By the way, that last out will be scored as a caught stealing if you're keeping the book at home. 2-4 on the put out.
Did control second base, and if you slide safely and you lose the bag, you get tagged out. That's a caught stealing on your scorebook. So 2-4 for Lucroy.
Presley's done a good job as a pinch hitter. He's 3 for 6, and one of those 3 hits was a home run.
He can handle a good fastball. I mean, one of the better good fastball hitters for the Brewers. You can see what he's been able to do off the bench. And Presley had started the previous 5 games in a row from Milwaukee.
A lot of playing time with Ryan Braun out, unavailable with the back injury, and prior to that the wrist injury. So he comes into this at bat with a lot of regular playing time, which matters when you're stepping into a pinch hit role now. A couple of journeymen trying to find their way with new teams. Bud Norris and Alex Presley. Outside for a ball. We saw a little bit of Presley coming up with the Pirates. Had a year with the Twins. He was traded from the Pirates to the Twins. He ended up with the Astros the last 2 seasons. Only played in 8 games last year for Houston. A cut and a miss, 2-2. Presley spent the good part of the year last year in AAA with the Astros. Fresno. He hit well there. A .292 hitter. David Stearns knew him well. The new Brewers GM, who was with the Astros, gives him a shot here with the Brewers.
He has been pretty good for the team. I mean, a good contact hitter. I mean, he will put the ball in play most of the time, and as we talked about, has been the most consistent guy coming off the bench.
It was close out of spring training for him. He ended up going to Colorado Springs in AAA. He hit well there and was the first one called back. It's been a couple of weeks in AAA. The Brewers I've been his home ever since. Big spot trying to get Flores on the move. Tie game, 1 apiece. 8th inning. In the first game of this series with Atlanta. And a wave and a miss. Presley strikes out. Norris stuck with the fastball. He picks up his first out.
And got him to chase one out of the strike zone. Look like it might have been up and away a little bit. And just when we start talking about how good Presley is as a fastball hitter, he swings right through one. You can see that pitch number 6, not a strike, and he chased it.
Feels like there is a book when you see that cluster on Alex Presley.
Right.
Up and away. So something he'll have to make an adjustment to. VR now, top of the order. Been a hot hitter. You know, at this point, I'm not sure we can even call him a hot hitter. He's just a good hitter.
Yeah.
He is hit well for an extended period of time to begin the season.
Yeah, didn't reach base safely on Sunday against the Mets, and that's the first time in a long time he hadn't been able to do that.
And they got an out at first. Flores is picked off. So another out on the base pads for the Brewers. Boy, that is a big one. Norris with that quick move to first. It doesn't figure that Flores is a stolen base threat. Just got caught here.
Well, you just can't make mistakes. I mean, close games and you make mistakes like this, and it looked like he was out. Good tag by Freddie Freeman right as he's approaching the bag, and I think the Brewers are going to take a look at it, but they do want to have the umpires in New York take a look. But it's got to be frustrating for counsel. You got to wonder, you know, for Flores, you mentioned he's not running anywhere. He's not going anywhere. Gets picked off at this point after Jonathan VR early in the game got caught going to second and third on a ground ball hit in front of him.
Now, counsel had a successful challenge last inning on the caught stealing. And this one could go either way. It all depends on what kind of look the Brewers can give them, and the Braves telecast as well. They have access to all of these cameras, but nothing that we've seen at this point would indicate that they would overturn the call. Can't quite tell when the glove is on him.
Yeah, you can't tell when Flores' hand hits the bag either.
So the crew chief, Tom Hallion, has gotten word from New York, and the call will stand. He's out. Just another base running mistake. Boy, the Brewers are struggling in that department.
It's got to be driving counsel crazy.
So a pickoff at first. 2 outs, nobody on now, and VR up there in an 0-1 count. VR was cut down on the base pads on a bad base running move. Tried to go to third on a ground ball in front of him. He was thrown out. That was with Jonathan Lucroy coming up. One ball, 2 strikes. VR has 1 homer this year. It came on opening day. It was his first Brewer hit against the Giants. Two and 2 the count on VR. He's 1 for 3. Singled sharply to center field in the 6th inning. A little bit low. Had an interesting conversation with Ryan Braun today about VR. He thinks VR is close to becoming a 20 home run type player in the big leagues. I asked him, how do you see that? He goes, just the more comfortable he gets, the more at bats, the regular at bats he gets in the major leagues, as he starts to game plan a little bit. He feels like he's got the pop.
He's got surprising strength up there at the plate as he draws a walk. Now this is a a different situation now for VR as he gets first base. Second walk issued by Bud Norris. He's got a lot of confidence up in that batter's box, and I think as the season is going on, you can just tell just by the way he takes pitches, and he has been a nice surprise. Nobody really knew what to expect out of VR when he came to spring training.
You take away the base running blunders that he's had plenty of them.
Yeah.
His game has been almost flawless. He's been hitting, stealing bases, playing a great shortstop.
Well, you got to know when to be aggressive and know when to just stay put, you know, particularly when you're on first base or second base with Braun, Lucroy coming up, Chris Carter. You don't need to push it. These guys can drive you in even when you're at first.
Well, see if he wants to run here. We've already seen the good move by Norris. Scooter Gennett at the plate, and he takes one high and away. Well, if the game plan on Gennett is up and away, he can handle that pitch.
Bud Norris throws everybody away. He doesn't come inside too much.
I think that's the general game plan against everyone until proven otherwise.
Stay away from the home run. That's the idea. He gave up 5 home runs. Or check that, I think 6 home runs in 5 starts when he was in the starting rotation for the Braves. Yeah, 6 homers.
And everything so far to the left-handed hitters up and away. Presley and now Gennett. Ryan Braun will hit next. Gennett trying to give him a swing here in this inning. And another one up there. 2-1. So if we know that, certainly the hitters know that. And I know it's hard. It's easy to say from up here, but don't you just take away half the plate? You start looking out there.
Yeah, just drive it into the gap at right center. As easy as that.
Just take one off the left field wall. Go ahead, Scooter.
It is easy up here, isn't it? We should just call down at Darnell, right?
Yeah, the hitting coach.
Everything's away.
We have a suggestion. VR takes off, pitch up and away, the throw to second, and safe is the call. VR is in there on a short hop. Stolen base for VR. A good throw is going to get him.
And we mentioned Flowers, a big guy, 6'4", 260 pounds, and takes him a while to get rid of it. You're right, a throw right on the bag, but how often does that happen? Right on the bag, he's out. Big lead, good jump. And VR with yet another stolen base, able to hold on to the bag.
Which is the most important part of the deal now with replay.
Well, now the Braves are taking a look.
I don't blame him. Terry Pendleton over there for Snitker. He says, no, play on. The great Terry Pendleton.
Terry Pendleton went from third base coach to bench coach when Freddie Gonzalez was let go.
Well, now the Brewers have the go-ahead run in scoring position. Hitters count for Gennett with Braun on deck. See how aggressive Norris will be against him. In there with a fastball.
Very.
Full count. No secret here for Norris. Gennett took one right down the middle, but it's all mostly away and up in the strike zone. Full count, 2 outs. And Gennett lines one into right field, a base hit. Around third is VR coming home. Markakis' throw is off the mark. In to score VR, and the Brewers take a 2-1 lead. It's a 2-out, 2-strike RBI single for Gennett.
Well, that's how you manufacture a run right there. Brewers finally able to cash in with a man in scoring position. Yep, a 2-out walk, a stolen base, and a base hit by Gennett. And the Brewers have a 2-1 lead. Well, he took the 3-1 fastball. He didn't take the full count fastball and hit it hard into right field. And Markakis not playing very deep, and you know, a good throw might be interesting at home plate. Scooter able to turn on that baby, and with VR, Brewers had the right guy out at second base on that play.
And now Ryan Braun with Jeanette at first. And a ground ball. Wow, what a play. That's a fair ball. Freddie Freeman. Wow. Gold glove play there. Freeman snares that ground ball. And the inning is over. But the Brewers take the lead here in the 8th. Outs on a 2-strike pitch, and it gives the Brewers the lead. Tyler Thornburg now on to try to set it up for Jeremy Jeffress. It's 2-1 Milwaukee. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, Tyler hasn't given up a run in his last 5 appearances, and last pitched on Saturday against the Mets. A 3-up, 3-down 8th inning.
Big fastball to start at 95 miles an hour on Gordon Beckham. Julio Teheran and Jimmy Nelson started. Both pitched well. Teheran struck out 12, which is a career high for him. Nelson got a bit of good fortune early in the game, but then he settled in. He went 6, giving up just the 1 earned run, and he had 8 strikeouts. 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. Good block by Lucroy, just in case.
Automatic, pretty much, for the most part. You don't see many get by him.
Now Thornburg is in a setup role, but he's going to have to go through the heart of the Braves batting order. Freddie Freeman due next, and then Nick Markakis. Brewers trying to snap a 3-game slide on this road trip. Got swept by the Mets. They were in every game, actually had late leads in the first 2 games. Tough series to swallow for the Brewers. And another close, late situation for Milwaukee. They've been in a lot of these games this year. Beckham into left field, shallow. Braun coming in, and he makes the catch. Ryan Braun with a catch and a dive. And Beckham is retired. And for a guy who's had back problems, anxiously watch him get up.
Yeah, got a great jump on that. A lot of times that'll freeze an outfielder. Right off the end of the bat, it was a breaking ball. And Ryan able to make up ground with that good speed and able to haul it in. There's a big out. You get the first out of the inning with Freeman and Markakis coming up. That's a huge play for Bronny. You just hope he's okay.
Now Freddie Freeman. Big swing at the first pitch. 96 with a fastball from Thornburg.
I guess the speed gun is okay.
At least for him.
Yeah.
Maybe they tweaked it after we brought it up. Now Thornburg's got Freeman down quickly 0-2. Freeman has seen 25 pitches tonight. His first 3 at-bats, he went 8, 7, and then 8. But he's 0 for 3. Thornburg, he grew up here in Braves country. Big Braves fan growing up. The 1-2. Up high for a ball. He didn't want to be John Smoltz or Greg Maddux. He wanted to be Andrew Jones growing up. He was a center fielder. Freeman hits it hard. Shift is on. Jeanette, the long throw is in time for the out. Well, the shifting pays off in a big way. Freeman hit that like a bullet.
Yes, he did. He got on top of that pitch that was right down the middle of the plate. Maybe a changeup. And Freeman's been having a difficult time getting the bat head out on the fastball tonight. And it wasn't fastball. It was down, and he hit it hard. Good play by Jeanette. He knew he had time. He went back to get the easy hop.
Playing
got the out.
Playing in the rover position. And a curveball to start Markakis. Well, it's been atom balls for the Braves here tonight. Right at Brewer defenders. And you can't even go at the old Yogi Berra line. You know, they've been putting a guy there for 100 years because they haven't.
That's right.
There's only been a guy there for the last 3 or 4 years.
A couple of months.
That was always the saying. You hit a line drive out, and you know somebody on the bench would say, "Hey, I don't know why you hit it there. They've been putting a guy there for 100 years."
Got to be a smart hitter.
Doesn't apply anymore.
No.
Two and one to Markakis. High fly ball center field, well hit. Long run, Neuenhuis, and he will run it down for the out. Markakis gave it a ride, but a 3-up, 3-down inning. We're headed to the 9th. The Brewers lead it 2-1.
Light, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly.
Well, it's the Brewers and Cardinals in a 3-game series Monday, May 30th through Wednesday, June 1st, as Yadier Molina and the division rival Redbirds make their first trip to Milwaukee of 2016. Reserve your tickets today at Brewers.com.
You know how early in the morning you got to get up to shoot that image of free-flowing traffic in Atlanta?
Yeah.
It's like 5 a.m.
Wasn't bad today, though, getting to the ballpark, except for that 3-car crash right in the middle of the freeway.
It's bad for them.
Once we got around that was okay. Nobody was hurt.
Hope everybody's fine. Just
Fender
a fender
bender.
bender and a lot of rubbernecking. Alexi Ogando, the former Ranger, on the mound for Atlanta. Jonathan Lucroy leads off for the Brewers. 2-1 Milwaukee. They just took the lead last inning. 2-out RBI single by Jeanette. It came with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Bud Norris, who's on the hook for the loss. Michael Blazek is in line for the win. Thornburg just held serve in the 8th inning against the heart of the Braves order. Retired him in order 1-2-3. Braves have only won 2 games this entire season at home. Hard to believe.
Yeah.
Brewers are trying to keep it that way. There's a shot backhanded by Johnson. Good play. Lucroy is out. He hit it right on the button. Nothing to show for it. And Lucroy, with 2 lineouts tonight, is 0 for 4.
They can't do much other than make good contact, and you're right. I mean, Lucroy's hit the ball hard on a couple of occasions, nothing to show for it. Luke's in one of those stretches where he's hitting the ball hard but not getting any hits.
One away. Here's Carter. Chris looking for his first hit. He has struck out 3 times. All of those at-bats were against Tehran. Tehran struck out 12 tonight, a career high. His 12th was against Carter. Tehran continues to be the Braves starter, not getting any run support. Not that the Braves are scoring many runs overall for anybody else, but Tehran is their best pitcher, and he's keeping them in most games. He's actually been pitching at an elite level here lately. ERA was sub-2 in his last 6 starts, and it'll stay that way after his effort today of 7 innings and 1 run. There's Matt Garza. He's on his way back, as Sophia reported.
Yeah, no Atlanta starter has gotten 3 runs of support this season on average. I mean, nobody's getting a whole lot of run support in that starting rotation.
Two to Carter is up and away. Chris trying to avoid the dreaded sombrero. 4 strikeouts in a game. And down he goes. 2 outs in the inning. And a tough night for Carter.
Yeah, Carter had Sunday off against the Mets because he had been scuffling a bit, and having a difficult time here tonight, and most of his strikeouts tonight have come on that breaking pitch, that slider.
Here's Kirk Neuenhuis now with 2 outs. He grounded out his last time up. Made a sparkling play defensively tonight. Looking ahead to the Atlanta 9th. Tyler Flowers, Kelly Johnson, and Eric Ibar. 5, 6, and 7 in their order, and looks like Jeremy Jeffress preparing for a save opportunity as Neuenhuis cuts and misses. 1 and 2 the count.
Moving, big movement there. Jeremy getting ready for a save opportunity. Brewers are going to try and maybe get him a little bit of cushion here, get another run on the board.
Lee Tunnell, the bullpen coach, keeping a watchful eye on Jeffress. Says, go get this done quickly so I can go watch my Oklahoma City Thunder. And Neuenhuis strikes out. The inning is over. Boy, the strikeouts aplenty tonight. Jeremy Jeffress, a strikeout pitcher. He's on to try to nail it down. Save situation coming up. Brewers lead 2-1. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Been a tie one tonight. Scooter Gennett broke a 1-1 tie with a 2-out, 2-strike RBI single in the 8th inning and scored VR, who had stolen second base after a walk. And that sets the stage for Jeremy Jeffress. He is on for the 21st time and is trying to save his 12th of the season.
Yeah, 237 earned run average for Jeremy Jeffress, and he has not allowed a run on the road this year. That covers 6 innings of work. Took the only blown save of the season last Wednesday against the Cubs, trying to bounce back from that.
Jeffress pitched on Sunday in a game he needed to get out onto the mound, knowing that Monday was an off day. He went from being overworked, pitching in 5 consecutive games for the Brewers across 6 days, to needing work on Sunday. So he should come into this outing fresh and ready to go, and a first pitch fastball at 96 would indicate that. If the radar gun was broken, the Brewers relievers have fixed it.
Yeah, it's okay. Bud Norris throwing about 95, and that's the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you don't have your big fastball, but they were still effective, both of the starters.
Tyler Flowers takes a ball. Flowers was robbed of a hit back in the 6th inning. Neuenhuis made an over-the-shoulder catch. Could have scored a run had it gone over his head. And at the time, it was a 1-1 game. Jam shot, roller foul. Will push the count to 1-2.
Well, the big key for his success, obviously getting ahead in the count. That's the key to success for everybody. But when he's able to throw that curveball where he wants it, that's a big strikeout pitch a lot of times, and especially against right-handers.
One ball, 2 strikes. And it's a little bit low. Almost got him to chase it. That was at 97 with some sink on it. That's really been the difference in Jeremy Jeffress from his first round with the Brewers. He was a first-round draft pick, and he made it to the big leagues. But he was straight over the top, and he threw 100 miles an hour. But it had no movement at all. He dropped into that lower slot. It took about 3 or 4 miles an hour off his fastball, but a ton of movement. And it's completely changed his career.
Yeah, ground ball pitcher, you don't have to be so fine when you have movement like that. You can get the plate. If it's down, you get that sink.
Had 11 straight saves to start his career as a closer before blowing one against the Cubs last week. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball to third, right at Hill. He's been busy tonight. And a low throw is dug out by Carter for out number 1.
Yeah, nice play. That was a tricky hop right at the end for Aaron Hill, and good play on both ends. A good pick by Carter.
Well, Hill's part of the play of the night tonight over at third base. Jimmy Nelson in trouble in the 2nd inning. Bases loaded, nobody out, and that line drive on what looked like ball 4 to Ibar ended up as a double play, and Jimmy would get out of the inning with no runs allowed.
Yeah, that Houdini act there. Been a lot of good defensive plays for the Brewers tonight.
One away. Here is Kelly Johnson. Atlanta is 2-17 at home this year. Johnson breaks his bat, and now fall, a base hit. Jeffress blew it up, but it has just enough on it to drop into short center field, and there is the tying run on for Atlanta.
Yeah, that 2-seam fastball, the big movement going away from Johnson. He got enough of it. And a winning run comes to the plate. Not very good speed at first, though. I mean, average at best. I mean, not a bad pitch. And Johnson blows up the bat, but able to dump one into center field.
And with the tying run on, the potential winning run stepping in, Eric Ibar. Ibar did reach on an infield hit his next at bat after the line out. He scored a run. He scored the lone Braves run in the 5th on that RBI triple by Malik Smith. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Brewers setting up for a double play. Brewers playing it pretty much straight up defensively. Neuenhuis in center field, just slightly shading Ibar into the opposite field.
And not very deep either.
Two balls, no strikes to the former Angel. And he went defensive swing on a Jeffress fastball.
Man, not even close.
Ground ball, got a chance. BR flips it to Jeanette. The throw to first, not in time.
Yeah, just couldn't get enough on the throw. Ibar gets down the line really well. They got his ground ball, just not able to turn it. Good pitch by Jeremy Jeffress coming back after falling behind 2-0. They can see VR laying back on it. If he charges that baseball, that's going to be a double play, but he wanted to make sure he got that good hop. And right about here, you knew you weren't going to double up Ibar.
I was thinking the same thing. If he comes up on it, maybe he gets the bigger hop and takes it himself. And he's certainly the guy you want throwing it to first with his golden arm. But it keeps the Braves alive. Here's AJ Pierzynski now, pinch hitting. And a fastball strike. AJ Pierzynski still at it. 19th season in the big leagues. 39-year-old catcher. Jefferson out away from a save. Boy, perfectly placed. Dropped it right in under his hands. 0-2 the count for Jeffress.
Yeah, good curveball. You don't want to leave that one up for Pierzynski, whose bat has slowed down considerably. Don't do him any favors by leaving one up.
2-1 Brewers. One strike away. Jeffress with a breaking ball. Pierzynski lines one to right. It's caught by Flores. Symbolic of the night for Atlanta. Line drive outs everywhere. And the Brewers hang on to win this one by a final of 2-1. The losing streak is over. And Jeremy Jeffress has his 12th save.
And he hung it, didn't he? He left that curveball up, and Pierzynski hit it well. Well, you're not going to win too many games with 15 punch outs, a couple of base running mistakes, but the Brewers able to come out on top. Terrific pitching once again.